Pro Dumpster Diver back at it again, just doing an update right now. So I was sorting some stuff out and I decided to group everything. I put all of the CPU pins inside of a practical Ziploc bag, and then I wrapped it in this thin saran wrap and put it inside of this half cardboard box. So basically I have what you would call a brick of gold. A brick of gold is basically just the actual gold piece, or it would be a large gold scrap mound. So this right here is 4 pounds of gold scrap CPU pins and pin ends and a few other ends. They're very, very small pieces, as you can obviously clearly see. They're very, very small pieces. But I put it in this because this is something that if I decided, you know what, in the future I'm going to go ahead and use this, I can immediately pull this out, cut a hole right through this, dump it in a bucket with some acid, and get to work. So this is 4 pounds of pin ends here, and next to it is 5 pounds of also pin ends, but these are basically also connection pieces there. So I have 9 pounds of these there. And the reason why I put this there is that I have other ones, but it's just that these would look good when you have them on display. And there's other ways of making sure they look good. You can actually use a clear container like this. You can pick this up from the dollar store. This is a 100% clear see-through container that you can put anything in right now. It will always look good. Look, even the cover is actually clear. This part is glass, this is plastic. It's very good to have this in right now. You can actually heat seal these, which are very, very good. So I always like these ones there, but not to put in any CPU. You can use CPU pins, they look great in there, but nothing tall like this. These are gold fingers. These have to go into something else, okay? So this is just part of the upgraded stash that I have, making sure these brick pieces look good on display. I have a bag here of chips. I have to put this with the other chips there. I have a bottle of RAM. This is a lot of RAM that I basically have. Inside of this is, as you can see, DDR2, 2 gig. I have some stuff in there that's like 5 gig. This is scrap, okay? This is all scrap. And then I have laptop scrap. Do separate it. The price is different right now. There's laptop scrap and then there's desktop scrap. It's always different right now because of the shipping, okay? Because these weigh about half as much as these, okay? And then I have irregular RAM. I don't call it irregular scrap, I call it irregular RAM. These are still technically RAM, but the sizes of these are different. These would basically be about half the size of that, but then basically be possibly equal to something like that. It's very different, all right? Hope you guys understand. All right, so let's get to the most important part, print chips, because I wanted to talk about this. When you guys have ink chips like that, like I have a lot of ink there, I'll pull it out and I will get, what you actually have is the chip part, which is right there. This is the chip part, okay? This part gets read. It'll either read 100%, 70, 50, 30, 10%, and then no more ink, okay? You keep these because they do have a lot of value of gold on it and people are constantly throwing these out. I do like to keep these, okay? But when you take the gold piece out, throw these out, and you can sometimes find them online in pound piece. Anytime you find them, pick them up, because the gold content on them is a lot larger per part than something else. But not these pins, because as you can see, this is absolutely covered in gold right now, as well as that, okay? I know the 4 pound one looks bigger right now. It's because these pins do take up a bit of space. That's the difference, okay? All right, now we have here a little bag of SIM chips. Now here's the thing, I'm gonna be honest, SIM chips do not contain that much gold. Here, Street Tips already did an experiment. He melted about 1,000 grams of SIM chips, and I think he only came up with like 0.5 grams. So these are not like a huge thing that you can do. So really, I don't buy SIM chips. I actually got these from a shut down cell phone store. which is always basically good there to actually use. All right, so I'm not a big fan of sim chips right now. I'm a big fan of finding pins if I can find them online for pretty cheap. That's a good picture. If I can find them online pretty cheap, I'll find them. Now, what do I pay for these if I go on eBay? So what I would do for pins is I would definitely end up paying between $50 to $75 of these here per pound, okay? Per pound. Now, what can you get out of it? It depends on how you melt it. Some amateurs don't have that much scientific equipment. Some people actually use the vacuum technique when it comes to cylinders. You will extract more gold out that way instead of just having it go down the drain. But to be honest, it is believed that the chips, you will lose a lot more gold when it comes to chips than most other things there. When it comes to wet ashing, when it comes to cleaning, you will lose about at least 40% of the gold when you do chips. So you have to be very careful with that. That's why I'm very specific with them there. I might have to do this by electrolysis, which is one thing, so I know that'll definitely take time to basically get done right now. Okay, let's see there. So this is gold fingers. So basically, before I put all my gold fingers in a bin, I put them in a smaller container and stack them up, and then I go ahead and put them in a larger container at this point, which is pretty good. So I did measure the gold fingers I have the other day. I so far have 27.8 pounds of gold fingers, which is nice. And so I'm going to add this to it right now, which is good. So what I have to add is gold fingers, sim chips, these ink pieces here, irregular RAM, laptop RAM, desktop RAM, okay? I have IC chips and BGA chips in there, and I have gold pins and then gold connection pieces right there, okay? This is basically the type of scrap that you do want to see some people have when they melt. Gold pins and connectors, obviously. Chips, you're always going to find that in computer scrap. RAM chips, if it's good, if you find DDR3, 4 gig, 8 gig, 16 gig, 32 gig. You want to sell those before you just melt them off. Some of that stuff is worth $7 a piece. There's a guy selling to $7 a piece if I find a DDR3, 4 gig, 8 gig or so like that, okay? Laptop RAM, irregular RAM. You'll find these in the smaller, thin desktops that schools may have. These, I do like to keep them there right now. So I remember I picked up, about 20 pounds or something like this for like $300, but it's well worth the wait. It has 8 times the amount of gold pricing when you melt it itself, okay? This here is gold pins. Just small, absolutely thin gold pins I got online, I think for $10. I was looking up on eBay. I like this because if I melt all of this there and get like half of a gram is, what are you looking at? Maybe $30. You know, I can just include this, in fact, with all these. Right? I love that. Now, how did somebody get that? They took the fiber CPUs and melted them down, and that's how they got it. All right? It does take a bit of work, but it's up to you. Okay? And then you have other stuff there. This is cell phone pieces. So I crushed up a bunch of cell phones today and stuff like that. You can do that. You don't have to, but that's what I basically do. So this is basically what you're looking at right now when it comes to the gold and stuff like that there. This is the perfect picture, actually. Take a picture of that right there, okay? Gold scrap. IC chips, RAM, gold pins, connectors. This is basically what you're looking for right now. In fact, I should actually put this one in here. You got fingers right there, and then you have sim chips. Boom, perfect pick. That's how it is. Pins, connectors, IC chips, gold fingers, sim chips, and then RAM. Okay, this is exactly how this stuff is. All right, I'm taking off right now. Just wanted to do a quick update because I know you guys needed this. This is what you should have. Now, the main reason why I'm doing this is that I listen to a guy called Epic Economist, and we have a huge economic issue in this country coming. And my question to you, if you're listening, is what happens when you don't have cash to sell? I'm going to ask you that again. What happens if you don't have cash to sell? If you don't have cash on you or cash in your drawer, always keep $200 in your drawer just in case. You can't go to the ATM right now. What happens if you're stuck in your house and you can't leave? How are you going to get food? What are you going to do? What are you going to sell? When you have no more cash and the banks are closed, your Visa card doesn't work, your cash doesn't work, what are you going to do? I could sell this. I don't want to, but I can sell it to someone who basically does gold. They have to have a large backyard, but they're going to have a lot of good security. But I can keep myself alive for a very long time, okay? So as I'm looking at this right now, 4 pounds of this is why I call it a gold brick. This is heavy. I don't think you understand how heavy this is. This is 4 pounds of gold pins here. During the apocalypse, I can take this 4 pounds of gold, because if you go online on Street Tips, he melted the entire thing down to the perfection of the lab and show you exactly how much you can get from melting 10 pounds of gold pins, 5 pounds of gold pins, connectors out there, okay? So if I wanted to, I could take this one little brick here and I would have enough to eat for about 3 months. A lot of you are like, damn, that's a lot. Here's why. Let's just say I got 6 grams out of this, right? 6 grams, not bad. 6 grams times $60 is $360, okay? $360 at the dollar store is a lot of money. You can get a lot of water with that right now. You can get a lot of canned goods with that. Get yourself a can opener. You can get some knives with that. You can do a lot with that, okay? Because $360 is going to last me a long time. And I'm not going to be eating every day. You should be eating less. 1 meal a day, that's it. But I also have gold fingers, sim chips here. I can convince them that, hey, you can see the gold on this stuff here, okay? I have RAM right here. I have IC chips. Real simple. So at the end of the day, my thing is this. You do want to be investing, but always have 10%. It is said that you should have 10% of your assets physically that you can reach for at your house. So 10% of your net worth should be in some hard assets. And I don't mean real estate, okay? I mean in some gold, silver, or scrap. Because if worse comes to worse, if the worst things happen, I can always sell my stuff here, okay? If I sold this here, I'd have enough to actually eat for a good 6 months. Okay, because I already know gold fingers, everybody knows that. And this RAM right here, that's a lot of RAM. That's gonna last somebody a long time, last me a long time, okay? And trust me, I showed you guys the original videos. Go back on the channel and look at it. I showed you guys my RAM stash. It's huge, it's a whole wooden box. Probably weighs 100 pounds right now. I'm gonna do another video on them fully and show you guys the stash when I get the house set. All right, but this is what it is. Okay, these are 6 different things you can have. Cell phone gold is always fine. Okay, but people understand gold pins, gold connectors, IC chips, fingers, SIM chips, and desktop RAM. Okay, it's real easy. Always have this just in case, and I should break it down to like half a pound for this in a white bag and then sell it. You know, it makes it a lot easier. All right, guys, making this video. Pro Dumpster Diver out. Make sure you learn.